The trader you become. Experience isn't the same as improvement. Most of us assume that experience naturally leads to improvement. If we spend enough time doing something, we should become better at it. It seems obvious. After all, experience helps us become better drivers, better musicians, better athletes. So it's easy to believe trading works the same way. Just keep trading, keep gaining experience. Eventually, you'll become consistently profitable. But trading has a way of challenging that assumption, because experience alone doesn't always change the way we make decisions. Sometimes we can have years of experience and still react to uncertainty in exactly the same way. Some of us still hesitate. Some of us still move our stops. Some of us still chase the market. Some of us still let fear and greed influence our decisions, which raises an interesting question. If experience doesn't automatically make us better, what does? Perhaps the answer isn't found in how much experience we have. Perhaps it's found in what we choose to do with it. Chapter 1. Experience is neutral. Every trading day leaves us with something. A winning trade, a losing trade, a missed opportunity, a perfect execution, an impulsive decision, a moment of patience, or a moment of regret. These are all experiences. But experience itself is neither good nor bad. It's simply something that happened. The market doesn't decide what those experiences become. It simply provides them. Imagine two winning trades. One followed your plan from beginning to end. You waited patiently. You respected your risk. You exited according to your process. The other trade was completely different. You chased the market, ignored your rules, risked more than you intended, and somehow it still made money. Both trades produced the same financial result, but did they teach the same lesson? Probably not. In fact, the second trade may quietly encourage behavior that becomes costly later. The profit makes it feel successful. But success and good decision-making are not always the same thing. The opposite is also true. A trade can lose money and still be one of the best trades you've ever taken. You followed your process, managed your risk, accepted the outcome. The market simply didn't reward that decision today. Experience doesn't automatically tell us which behaviors deserve to be repeated. It simply gives us raw material. It's like collecting pieces of a puzzle. The pieces matter, but they don't assemble themselves. Many traders spend years collecting experiences. Far fewer spend years making sense of them. Chapter 2. Repetition isn't the same as improvement. There's another assumption many of us make. We believe that repeating something naturally makes us better at it. Sometimes that's true, but only if we're repeating the right things. Imagine someone learning the piano. If they practice the correct technique every day, their skill gradually improves. But what if they unknowingly practice the wrong technique? What if they repeat the same mistake, day after day, year after year? They're still practicing, they're still gaining experience, but they aren't moving closer to mastery. They're becoming more familiar with the mistake. Trading works the same way. Every decision you repeat becomes easier to repeat again. Every time you move your stop, you're practicing moving your stop. Every time you chase a breakout because you're afraid of missing the move, you're practicing reacting to fear. Every time you cut a winning trade short because you feel uncomfortable giving back profits, you're practicing that habit too. Whether we realize it or not, we're always practicing something. The real question isn't whether you're practicing. The question is, what are you practicing? Because repetition doesn't always create improvement. Sometimes, it simply strengthens the habits you already have. This is why experience alone isn't enough. Experience can reinforce good habits, but it can also reinforce unhelpful ones. The market doesn't choose which habits grow stronger. Our repeated decisions do. Chapter 3. the invisible teacher. Many traders believe they're studying the market. And of course, they are. They study trends, patterns, support and resistance, risk management, trade management. All of those things matter. But there's another teacher sitting quietly beside the charts, one that many of us overlook: ourselves. Every trading day reveals something about how we respond to uncertainty, how we respond to being wrong, how we respond to missing opportunities, how we respond to making money. Sometimes we discover that we become impatient after waiting too long. Sometimes we realize that a winning streak makes us careless. Sometimes a losing streak makes us start looking for certainty where none exists. The market isn't creating these parts of us. It's revealing them. In many ways, the chart is only half of what we're studying. The other half is the mind that's looking at the chart. This is why two traders can look at exactly the same market and make completely different decisions, not because they see different candles, but because they bring different thoughts, different beliefs, different habits, and different emotional responses to those candles. The market becomes a mirror, not just of our analysis, but of ourselves. And perhaps that's one of the greatest gifts trading has to offer. Because before we can change the way we trade, we first have to see ourselves clearly. Chapter 4. Reflection gives experience. Meaning, if the market is constantly revealing something about us, why do so many of us keep repeating the same mistakes? Perhaps because seeing something and learning from it are not the same thing. Every trading day leaves behind evidence. The entry, the exit, the emotions, the decisions, the moments of hesitation, the moments of confidence. But evidence doesn't explain itself. Without reflection, today simply becomes yesterday, and tomorrow becomes another chance to repeat it. Reflection is what transforms experience into something useful. It's where we stop asking, "Did I make money today?" and begin asking, "What actually happened? What was I thinking? What was I feeling? What pattern keeps appearing?" These are very different questions, because making money doesn't necessarily tell us whether we traded well, and losing money doesn't necessarily mean we traded poorly. Reflection shifts our attention away from outcomes and toward decisions. That's where growth begins. This is why reviewing your trades isn't simply about recording entries and exits. It's about learning to observe yourself honestly, not to judge yourself, not to criticize yourself, but to understand yourself. Because we cannot deliberately improve something we have never clearly seen. Perhaps that's why honest reflection is uncomfortable. Not because we're reviewing our trades, but because we're reviewing ourselves. Chapter 5. Understanding changes nothing until practice. There comes a point where many traders stop. They notice the pattern. I keep moving my stop. I keep entering too early. I keep cutting my winners short. That's an important step, but awareness alone rarely changes behavior. Understanding doesn't automatically become transformation. Think about how many things we already know. Most traders know they shouldn't revenge trade. Most traders know they should respect their stop loss. Most traders know they should wait for high-quality setups. Knowledge isn't usually the problem. The challenge is turning knowledge into something we can consistently do. This is where deliberate practice becomes so important. Deliberate practice isn't simply trading more. It isn't taking hundreds of additional trades. It isn't watching charts all day. Deliberate practice begins with choosing one capability, not 10, just one. Perhaps it's accepting losses without negotiation. Perhaps it's waiting patiently for confirmation. Perhaps it's ending the trading day exactly when planned. Whatever it is, that capability becomes today's practice. Because trying to improve everything usually means improving nothing. Real improvement happens when our attention becomes focused. Every day becomes an opportunity to strengthen one decision, until that decision slowly becomes easier to make. Without practice, understanding remains an interesting idea. With practice, understanding begins to change behavior. Chapter 6. Capability changes the trader. One of the most interesting things about improvement is this. We often think success changes us, but perhaps it's the capabilities we build along the way that change us. Professional traders don't wake up one morning with perfect discipline. They don't suddenly become patient, or emotionally detached, or consistently confident. Those qualities are built. One capability at a time. One repeated decision at a time. Over time, those repeated decisions begin to feel more natural. Not because trading becomes easier, but because the trader has changed. Someone who has practiced respecting their stop loss hundreds of times still feels disappointment when they're wrong, but they no longer negotiate with the stop. Someone who has practiced patience still feels the fear of missing out, but they no longer have to obey it. The emotion may still appear. The difference is that the capability to respond differently has been built. That's what improvement really looks like. Not becoming someone who never experiences fear, but becoming someone whose decisions are no longer controlled by it. Perhaps that's what capability really is. Not the absence of emotion, but the ability to make better decisions in its presence. Final thoughts? Every trader gains experience. The market gives that freely. Every chart, every trade, every win, every loss, every mistake, every success, they're all experiences. But experience alone doesn't decide who we become. Some experiences quietly reinforce habits we'd rather leave behind. Others become turning points that change the way we think. The difference isn't found in the experience itself. It's found in what we choose to do afterward. Reflection gives experience meaning. Understanding gives reflection direction. Deliberate practice turns understanding into capability, and capability slowly changes the person making the decisions. Perhaps that's why trading is such an unusual journey. We begin thinking we're here to understand the market, but over time, we discover that we're also learning to understand ourselves. Because every trading day offers two opportunities. One is to participate in the market. The other is to become a slightly better trader than we were yesterday. The market provides the experience. The choice to learn from it belongs to us. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing for more videos on trading psychology and trading mindset. I'd love to hear what this video made you reflect on, so feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. And if you know another trader who might benefit from it, feel free to share this video with them. And until next time, keep learning, not just about the markets, but about the trader you're becoming.